Hello and welcome to our third and final info session for Oxfam Trail Walker 2024. My name is Sam and I am going to be your host for this session. I hope you are as excited as I am to learn all that there is to know about event weekend. From registration, start and finish line expectations, support crew, checkpoint info and more. It's going to be a really jam-packed session, so let's get right into it. Later on, you'll be hearing from our awesome trail developer Matt Lash, who's going to share some really key information on this year's trail. So, what are we going to be covering in this session? Well, we want to get you as excited for event weekend as possible. So we're going to look at the destination and the wonderful things you can do and see in Taranaki whilst you're down there. The weekend timeline, so this is key dates and times that you'll need to know. Registration information, start line expectations, checkpoints and what you'll need to know going into them, support crew and why they're important, compulsory gear, and of course, the finish line. We feel really honoured to be able to host the final Oxfam Trail Walker in Aotearoa in the absolutely stunning Taranaki region. New Plymouth has so much on offer, from museums, nature walks, surfing, culture and cuisine. It fits into anyone's ideal version of a weekend away. It's unique, it's legendary, and it's really impressive. On the weekend, if you're sticking around for a few extra days before or after the event, we suggest you check out the eyesight in the New Plymouth City Centre for advice and to take the opportunity to explore all that the region has on offer. Plus, this year we have a Trail Walker's Guide to New Plymouth, the link will be down below, featuring some of the city's most delicious eateries, best activities and places to stay, all checked out by the Trail Walker team. Now, onto some of the nitty-gritty stuff. Event weekend itself is full on, but don't worry, all of this information is available in your event guide that was sent out earlier this week. Registration will be held on the Friday at TSB Stadium from 4 till 7 p.m. Whilst we do encourage all team members to come along, it is only compulsory for one team member to be at registration evening. They will need to come and collect the team's walker packs and check you all in. Oxfam Trail Walker kicks off bright and early on Saturday, 23rd of March. We will be implementing start waves based on your distance, and this year it's super simple. All 100-kilometre teams will be kicking off from 6:30 a.m. and all 50 and 25-kilometre teams from 7 a.m. Please ensure that you're arriving at least 30 minutes before your start wave to check in, get prepared and enjoy a warm-up from BFT New Plymouth. The finish line will be open from 10:30 on the Saturday to welcome our first teams over the finish line. And on Sunday, 23rd of March, we will be hosting our awards ceremony. This will be a wonderful opportunity to celebrate the incredible achievements that people have made, as well as commemorate that this is the final Oxfam Trail Walker in Aotearoa, and with some really special recognitions of all who have worked so hard to make this event possible. So, going back to the Friday in more detail, registration on Friday 22nd of March is where you will collect your walker packs and we can high-five you for your upcoming challenge. This will be hosted at TSB Stadium. Everyone is welcome to attend registration, in fact we recommend it, but only one team member is required to attend on behalf of the team. Please ensure that your travel plans fit around this. Registration evening will run from 4 till 7 p.m. this year and will be a mini event in and of itself. With a food truck, a coffee caravan, live entertainment, this is a great chance to meet other teams and share in the excitement. In your walker pack, you'll receive your walker directions, which you must carry with you on the trail, your team bibs, your support crew driving directions and vehicle passes, and any of your fundraising rewards that you've achieved. If you have any team changes or any last minute queries to make, this is the place to do it. We'll have a help desk there ready to help you. So, fast forward through your carb loading dinner and your great night's sleep, what should you expect come Saturday morning? Expect to get to the start line early. We know you're going to be chomping at the bit to get started, but in case you had hoped to get a sleep in, we recommend being bright and early to avoid any traffic issues or delays. As a city-based trail walker, we'll be working with the local area to ensure the best possible parking, or organise a drop-off point for your support crew to drop you off at, park up, and circle back to the start line to wave you off. This will give you time to get checked in at the start line and visit the portaloos. Prepare your gear the night before. There's nothing worse than stumbling around in your accommodation at 4 in the morning trying to find your other sock. Make sure everything is packed and ready to go the night before. This could even mean pinning your bib onto the front of your shirt so you don't need to worry about it in the morning. Your support crew should also know their plan for checkpoints and what you need from them. Everyone will be pumped up on adrenaline and the atmosphere is going to be amazing, so soak it in. You'll only be at the start line for a short while before you take off. Take plenty of photos and share them to socials too. You'll want to capture the amazing feeling of beginning your journey. But also, you might be nervous, and that's okay too. Expect that your bodies will react differently and embrace that. Our checkpoints are the perfect chance to catch up with your support crew, sit down to stretch and get off your feet for a bit, plus eat some well-deserved kai. These checkpoints are roughly between 15 and 30 kilometres apart from each other. And yes, toilets will be available at each checkpoint, along with hot and cold water, coffee, tea, hot chocolate courtesy of InCafe, and R-Line, a rehydration drink designed specifically to aid the performance of athletes such as yourselves. One thing to remember is that Oxfam Trail Walker has been a disposable cup-free event for many years, so make sure you and your support crew have your own reusable cups. Now I know what you're all wondering, and the answer is yes. All of our checkpoints have portaloos and water refill stations. Many of our checkpoints are actually indoor venues, so you can take a much-needed break from the elements and put your feet up. Make sure that you check in and out with the volunteers as you enter and exit. Every member of your team must do this. If you don't, it will register in our system that you haven't reached the checkpoint and we'll be calling you in the middle of the night worried that you've stopped somewhere. It's time to meet your support crew. It's lovely seeing your close supporters throughout the trail. Let them know what you need prior to event weekend, so when they turn up to greet you, they are prepared with exactly what you need. Each checkpoint site will be different, but for many there will be a space for your support crew to set up gazebos. Although you'll be tempted to take a long break, we actually suggest that you don't hang around too long. You want to keep your muscles active to avoid seizing up, so about 10 to 15 minutes at each checkpoint is perfect. Your support crew really are your lifelines, and they are vital in getting you across the finish line. Their main job is to meet you at your checkpoints, to support you, give you the things that you need, such as food, extra hydration, walking poles, or even spare shoes and socks. You must have your support crew signed up under your team, just like your team members. The minimum for our 50 and 100 kilometre teams is 2, both over 18 years. Our 25 kilometre teams may choose to have support crew, however this is no longer a requirement. On our website at oxfamtrailwalker.org.nz/support crew, there is a lot of support crew information, including checklists and advice, how to navigate checkpoints. They'll also be given detailed instructions on where to park closer to the time. Finally, support crew can be included in your weekend team trainings. Start them early in your training plan and ensure they know what you need from them during the walk. Do they need to learn how to give foot massages? Or have they learnt that you crave pizza when you're really tired? No matter how strange it is, their job is to ensure you get through the trail. Don't forget to give them love through the journey too. Our official gear provider, Bivouac Outdoor, have provided a really great gear guide available on our website. As well as having some epic recommendations for making you more comfortable on the trail, this guide also includes your compulsory gear list, which includes your walker bib, walker directions, a first aid kit, survival blankets, 2 mobile phones, reflective clothing, a whistle, and a minimum of 2 litres of water per person. We also strongly urge you to consider the following. Carry a comfortable day pack, as support crew will transport the bulk of your food and gear. All teams, regardless of distance, should prepare to walk in the dark. A head torch is really recommended. Trial different shoes and socks during your training. You want to go into event weekend with no surprises. For more gear recommendations, head to our first info session on training, where there are plenty of helpful tips and tricks. Now on to the exciting stuff. The finish line will be an amazing atmosphere. There really is nothing like it. There's so many different emotions and feelings going around. Much like the start line, embrace it. Firstly, you are going to be sore. Ensure that you stretch when you're done and make sure to drink plenty of fluids to help you recover. Take lots of photos, especially with your medals. Post them online and tag us at Oxfam Trailwalker NZ. And don't forget to include the hashtag OTW24. There will also be a glass of bubbles waiting for you at the end, thanks to Booster Wine Group, your medal, and a sausage sizzle. It really is a time to celebrate. And finally, the awards ceremony will be held on Sunday at 12 p.m. If you finish sooner, come back to the finish line to be part of the experience and to cheer on the teams that are still finishing their walks. Next, you'll be hearing from Matt, our trail developer, who's going to walk you through some really key details on the trail and what to expect for each leg.
So the trail for this year will have a new starting point out at the seaside town of Waitara. So all the 50, 100 and 25 kilometre teams are walking together along the Waitara River Trail out to the coast, the Tasman Sea. They'll be following a few trails along the edge of the ocean, then using some farms to get through, some backcountry roads and some farms. They'll eventually wind their way towards Bell Block, past the airport, through some farms onto the Mangati Trail, and they'll be getting to the first checkpoint at Hickford Park at Bell Block, where all the teams there will obviously check in and catch up with their support crews. The second leg of the trail for all teams will be starting along the coastal walkway, walking along the edge of the coast. Some stunning sights to see, no doubt. They'll be crossing the iconic Te Rewa Rewa Bridge over the Waiwakaia River, and then continuing along the coastal walkway past Fitzroy Beach, popular surfing place for locals, to East End Beach, where they'll be turning left there, and they'll be heading up the Te Henui River Trail, winding their way through some beautiful bush and bit of scenery there. And then there'll be a split point at about the 22k mark. This is where the 50 and 100s will carry on the Te Henui Trail, and the 25ks will then hang a right, and they'll be walking back through sort of part of urban New Plymouth, and then into Pukekura Park to the finish line at the TSB Stadium. The 50 and the 100k teams carry along, and they're going to walk up through some urban trails, and they're going to get to Burgess Park and then into the Topek area, which is the meeting of waters. Again, some stunning river trails, and they'll be meeting their checkpoint teams, all the support crew, out at the Outdoor Education Centre called Topek. From CP2, teams are going to head out in some private farmland before getting quickly into the Lake Mangamahui forest area. Some beautiful trails, doing a lap of Lake Mangamahui, hopefully some beautiful mountain views, no doubt. From those trails, they'll be heading again through some farmland, back past Topek, so they're going to get a chance to sort of get a refill of their R-line drink or some water. They won't meet their support crew again, but they'll just keep moving straight past Topek, over the Waiwakaia River Bridge, through across a little stream, and then up into some more private farmlands. They're going to go through farmlands and a few roads, all the way till they get to a place called Colson Road Forest, which is a beautiful old sort of recycled forest. They're going to get through there before heading into urban New Plymouth. So they're going to cross back over the Waiwakaia River, heading through a few schools and a few urban tracks, all the way to a split point. At the split point, the 100Ks are going to head back to the coast, back to East End and out to Ngamutu Beach, where their CP3 will be. And for the 50K teams, they're going to be heading straight through town, all the way directly past Boys High and into the finish line at TSB Stadium. From CP3 at Ngamutu Beach, 100K teams are going to head their way past Paratutu Rock and into the back beach area. They're going to follow some beautiful trails along the coastline before heading into the little community of Umata. From Umata, they're going to head up another backcountry road, across a few farms, and again wind their way back in towards New Plymouth, and they're going to get into the Barrett Domain. At Barrett Domain, they'll find CP4 and their checkpoint team and their support crew waiting for them for some much needed supplies. from CP4 at Barrett Domain. They're going to head through some beautiful bush trails through Barrett Domain onto some private farmland before doing a lap of Ratapihi Scenic Reserve, a stunning piece of native bush. Then a few more farms are going to wind their way back down through Franklin Road and back towards New Plymouth. They're going to cross through a few local schools before heading on to another urban walkway that'll finally lead them to the 5th checkpoint and their teams at Yarrow Stadium. The final leg for the 100k team see them leaving Yarrow Stadium, heading into the Huatoki walkway, a few more town trails, back onto the Te Henui walkway where they'll wind their way back towards the middle of town before crossing over a few roads and heading into the stunning Bowl of Brooklands and Pukekura Park. A few fine features in Pukekura Park include Poets Bridge, a few laps of the lake and the music venue, of course, which is iconic. The final small hill to the waiting teams at the finish line, support crew and a glass of bubbles. Well done, that's the trail.
And that just about concludes our final info session on event weekend. Before we wrap up, I just want to say a quick thank you to our partners: New Plymouth District Council, Venture Taranaki, Bivouac Outdoor, Outwear, Novotel, InCafe, Wireless Nation, Booster Wine Group, Beyond Soap, and Tapuai Springwater. Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in for this really fun session, and I hope it started to get those butterflies going. We absolutely can't wait to see you all down in New Plymouth to take on this epic challenge and celebrate at that finish line. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions. You can phone us on 0800 600 700 or email us at info@oxfamtrailwalker.org.nz. See you out there.